I suppose I've been called worse. Welcome back to Flick Check. I, of course, am Andrew Woltman. Sorry for that cliffhanger I pulled on you yesterday. But unlike Dallas, this isn't a dream. And, JR wasn't shot. But, that was back in the 70s, so whatever. Anyway, movie news. We do have some more of that to catch up on. Lupita Nyong'o has been cast in Star Wars Episode 7. Further proof that her Oscar nomination has boosted her star power. Also joining the cast, Gwendolyn Christie, who you may know best as Brienne of Tarth on Game of Thrones. Further proof for her that all the actors on that show are outstanding. Next, in some news so fresh that I don't even have a joke ready for it yet, Vincent D'Onofrio has joined the cast of Marvel's Daredevil Netflix show as Kingpin, a role formerly played by the late and great Michael Clarke Duncan. Ladies and gentlemen, we have news so fresh that I've decided to go back and film some more, even after I finished editing. So fresh that I forgot to put on my trademark hat. Now, the cable network FX has released a statement saying that Tracy Morgan's new sitcom will be there waiting for him when he is released from the hospital. Morgan is still said to be in critical condition, and as with yesterday, we still wish him the best of luck and a speedy recovery. Okay, time for the review. And we are not talking about The Fault in Our Stars. I haven't seen it yet, and it's nothing that I even have against the movie. I'll get to it eventually, I promise you. And we are also not talking about Maleficent. I have something planned for that, with special guest star who will be dropping by the studio, Miss Anika Krempel. Today, however, we are talking about Edge of Tomorrow, a film starring Tom Cruise, who, for some reason, the rest of the world seems to like to dump on. However, I personally enjoy Tom Cruise's films. Now, with Edge of Tomorrow, there's a lot of comparisons to Groundhog Day. A man gets killed, he wakes up on the same day, and he relives it over and over again. That comparison's going to be inevitable. However, there's a really fresh twist on it. I mean, it really adds something to the sci-fi element and the war strategy. He uses, the fact that he's already been here to his advantage. And I like the fact that they don't have to show you every single time that he jumps back. I mean, that's something that really adds to it. When you see him enter a room for, the first time, the first time you see him do it, you kind of get the impression that he's already done it. That adds a lot of ambiguity and mystery, and that's something that I really appreciated. Along with that, it's a really high-stakes thriller that, despite the fact that you know that if the guy dies, he's still going to wake up, you're still not sure what's going to happen. And the fact that he's done this before adds a lot of emotional weight to Tom Cruise's character, because he's had to witness the same people die over and over and over and over and over again. So that is something that I really liked about this movie. It's not the most original idea, but it has a very fresh spin on that, and that's something I appreciated a lot. Now, if there's anything I didn't like about this movie, it has nothing to do with this movie individually. Why does everything need a love story nowadays? I mean, if we're talking about the Avengers, you had Pepper Potts and Tony Stark in there for a little bit. That added some emotional weight. If we're talking about Breaking Bad, not a movie, TV show, you got Skyler and Walter, that adds a lot of conflict. I just think that you don't necessarily need a romance in a story to make it work. So, that's not really a complaint about the movie, it's a complaint about movies in general. I mean, I have nothing wrong with romance, I'm not trying to sound bitter or anything. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be in absolutely everything. I mean, the last movie I think I saw was G.I. Joe Retaliation. You can't see the poster, it's on the other side of the wall. Okay, now the acting. Tom Cruise, for some reason people just don't like the man. I happen to enjoy him very much. He has this kind of cockiness and emotion to him. Like the fast talking, the smile. He's extremely charming in a kind of a wise-ass way, and that's something that really works to the advantage of his character when you first find out his circumstances. And then we have Emily Blunt, who's this famous warrior. She's incredibly well known. She's strong, she's mighty. She knows what Tom Cruise's character is going through, so that adds a lot of depth to her. So I really enjoyed her too. Now, if I'm going to give this a grade, I'm happily going to give this a check plus, because this was an extremely strong sci-fi movie. I'm just sorry that the box office didn't really agree with that. Now, If you haven't already, be sure to watch John Oliver's hilarious take on net neutrality and the proposal that the FCC currently has to repeal it. It is a very important issue, something that affects all of us. So please, once you're done with this video, watch it on YouTube. I have been Andrew Woltman. This is Flick Check. We will be back later this week with Chef and 22 Jump Street. And remember, if you're not sure about a flick, let me give it a check. Have a good night.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.